Welcome back to the coverage of YCS Prague, where we're now ready to start the top 16 match.
Yeah.
There was a little bit of a vote on the Twitch chat, and you guys could decide which match you wanted to see. That almost caused us a headache because the judges were a little bit getting ahead of themselves. Yeah, super eager.
Yeah.
Which is understandable, of course. They also want to wrap things up today. And then they already started the round, and we were like, wait a second, we still need a feature match. But we were still able to get the two guys that you requested, or, well, one of the two matches I offered you to vote on. And that is Kenny Deubelbeiss from Switzerland going up against James Broderick from Ireland.
Yeah.
That's two countries that you don't see that often. Let's take a quick look at our top 16 bracket, where you should be able to see all the countries of the remaining players. A little bit easier to see now, now that we have gotten rid of 16 players, of course. And these two guys are playing in the bottom left corner.
Yeah.
So another interesting information, of course, Kenny Deubelbeiss is playing Burning Abyss. James Broderick is playing Draco Performapal. Let's look at all the matches on the left-hand side. We got, for starters, Michael Roche versus Collins Ami Kame. Michael Roche we had in the last round. He's not playing Monarchs.
Nope.
He's playing Magical Explosion.
Magical Explosion, yes.
Collins is playing Cosmo. Then we got Jake Quincy versus Manuel Bayer. That is Monarch versus Cosmo. Marvin Weber versus Peter Kiergaard. That is Cosmo versus Draco Performapal. No mirror matches to be found here.
No, I don't understand. It's kind of strange.
Yeah. On the right-hand side, at the very top, we got Peter Warnecke with Cosmo going up against Simon Turner with Monarch. And then Ur Kovacic with Draco Performapal versus Niklas Leichnitz. That's a Draco Performapal mirror match. There is one. Then Shinna Yanya Prayot. We should really have him in the feature match just because of his cool name. Going up against Valon Leturtre, that is Monarch versus Burning Abyss. And to wrap things up, the last match is Dave Grabert versus Georgios Georgiakakis, that is Draco Performapal versus Cosmo. Now, if you were a little bit too lazy to crunch numbers right now, this is the metagame at the start of the day. Let's have another look at the beginning of the top 16, so the same trend. We said it before, Burning Abyss was a great choice for the event because out of the 33 players that started, 4 made it to the top 32.
Yeah, and then top 16.
Top 16, let's see. Suddenly, Draco Performapal and Cosmo are going toe-to-toe. And again, Burning Abyss, well, they halved their numbers, but that's fine. Going from 4 to 2. Yeah. And now, these are the 4 decks that we have remaining in the field, and we're going to see 2 of those. We had 1 mirror match between Draco Performapal, so there's at least 1 in the next round, guaranteed. I think that was the only mirror match we had.
Yeah, and obviously one of those Monarch numbers is actually the Magical Explosion deck.
Another thing we can quickly highlight is the country breakdown. Again, this is, let me check, this is top 16? Yes, these are the last 16 players. You have 4 Germans, 2 UK players, 2 Austrians. Italy down to 1 player, which is surprising considering how well they did before. Let's bring that up. That's the start of day 2. Italy, 61 players, which is a lot because they just had 110 going into the tournament. And in the top 32, they were still the second most represented nation. But suddenly in the top 32, the Italians were running out of gas. Austria, on the other hand, doing quite well, actually.
Yeah.
And also here, very, very diverse field in terms of countries.
Very diverse.
All right, that's it for statistics. Let's take a closer look at those two guys' decks. We got the Swiss champion, Kenny Deubelbeiss, playing Burning Abyss. Nothing super out of the ordinary here.
No, seems pretty standard. He's just playing a lot of trap cards.
Right, well, that's to be expected in Burning Abyss.
Yeah, Burning Abyss, to be like, they went through a stage where they didn't play very many trap cards. But I think nowadays it's all about the trap cards, really having to control the Draco Pals decks.
Right. Speaking of the Draco Pals, anything interesting we see there?
I think, again, this is very, very standard. He's playing the Ariadne build, like we've seen a lot of. He's main decking Twin Twisters. Not many people have been main decking Twin Twisters, but, you know, it's a good shout. So, and then the interesting card comes when he hits his side deck, which is Spell Shattering Arrow. That was one of my favorite cards.
Right.
It's been printed a very long time.
Denko Seka card we haven't seen all weekend.
Denko Seka.
All right, so this is a little bit of a teaser. Let's now take you to the table where these two are ready to get their game on. We got Kenny Deubelbeiss on the left-hand side from Switzerland and James Broderick again on the right from Ireland.
Yeah. So he starts out there with a painful decision. Ariadne, the two non-luster Draco cards, and a set of Twin Twisters.
How high do you think the chances are that Valon Literature will win again?
I think if he's able to pilot his Burning Abyss deck all the way, just like he did before, then he's going to win. If he's been playing it this whole time, then he's going to have mastered it to a level that some people can only think about.
Yeah. Do you remember what his deck list was like when we compare it to Kenny's deck list?
I think it had like quite a lot less traps. It's hard for me to look at this because I think it's in a different language, or some of them are at least. But like Mind Crush main decked is actually quite a strange thing. He's got 3 main decked Mind Crush. Now, I always say this to people that I know, and it always sounds a bit crazy, but I think that in any deck, in any format ever, if you play 3 Mind Crush and you know the meta well enough, and you know how the decks are all played and the builds of everything, then Mind Crush is always a good card because you can always take away cards from your opponent and potentially multiples as well.
And we've seen it actually. We've seen blowout turns on the stream with Mind Crush, getting 3 copies.
Really big in Necros format.
Yeah. All right.
Just think if you have a couple of copies of like Pendulum Sorcerer or something, and Mind Crush, it's just that's it. Okay, so he's going to set his Twin Twisters and Psalm Strike, I can only assume.
All right, and slowly but steadily we're getting the cards for Kenny. At first it didn't quite work, but now it's going better. Yeah, there we go. One after another they're coming in.
So Twin Twisters, which cleans up both that strike and the Twin Twisters. And then we see Tour Guide being played.
It's the first time this weekend we see Tour Guide.
Yep. So there's only one of her at the moment. She's driving her little bus down to the underworld. It's got a few people on. We can see in the artwork of Shared Ride. Zangan, you got the angel from Graceful Charity, all on that bus down to the underworld. So here we see Dante milling. Oh wow! Oh wow!
That's a good hit.
Yep, mills a Sir, and the Graph as well. Gets the second Sir. Here's the Graph. So push. That's 31.
That's a pretty good push.
That's 56. So that's going to leave him on 2-4.
Right. So Kenny at the moment, Master Pendulum, Vector Pendulum, those are...
I think he's just going to sit there. He's not going to even exceed with those.
So
and then everything gets set.
Wait a second. Kenny is playing Burning Abyss. Yes, of course. So okay, our apps got it the wrong way. Now I'm making sense of this. Yeah. Okay. So cards on the table. It shows James Broderick at the top, but those are the cards on the table for Kenny, of course.
Ah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. The headers are wrong. Just so you guys can also make sense of this.
Yeah.
The names are swapped, and on the other side, this is not the card that Kenny Deubelbeiss has on the table. This is the card that James Broderick has on the table.
Yep, so there's the end of that.
Yeah, but in any case, it makes sense. Burning Abyss was going strong.
Yes.
Draco Performapal, not so much.
Yeah, so Kenny takes that there.
Kenny takes the first win, and it's also swapped on the bottom, so it's not James who won the first game, but it's Kenny Deubelbeiss who won the first game. All right, now the side decks are playing a major role. You were hinting at that spell shattering arrow.
Yeah, I think that's only going to be relevant against other pendulum decks.
Not in this particular matchup.
Yeah. So the side deck here for Kenny, I don't understand some of these cards because they're in a different language. But let's
Mask
see
of
if we can.
Restrict.
Mask of Restrict.
Spell Shattering Arrow as well.
Oh, he's playing Spell Shattering Arrow, so that's really relevant. That's very good against pendulums.
I think that could be a creature swap. It's kind of confusing because he's spelled it with a K. Like yeah. And
is that Flying C? Yeah.
I think Flying E. Flying. It
C.
should be a C.
Yeah.
There is an E on it, but yeah.
And what's the one below?
It's Divine Judgment. What's it called? Divine Wrath. Divine Wrath. Yeah. I cannot complain about the translation because I'm doing those. And
Anti-spell fragrance.
and Anti-spell fragrance. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
A couple of good options he has.
Both of them seem pretty happy with the game right now.
Okay, so it's actually also like everything is swapped. James is on the left, Kenny's on the right. I can tell because James is playing for Team Kuribo.
Yeah.
As you can tell by the shirt that he's wearing. So he's kind of easy to spot. And Kenny seems to be like super relaxed here. Already done side decking, didn't really take him long.
Yeah, so I think we've removed the name tags. I think we're just going to get those sorted out for you.
Yeah, we're just going to refresh them in a second.
Yeah.
I didn't see, but did Burning Abyss side deck at all?
I didn't see.
I think he might have not.
He must have played Anti-Spell Fragrance at least. Is that now correct?
Yeah, James is on the left. Kenny's on the right. That much is true. I can tell you if the rest is correct once the cards are coming in. So we just need to wait a little bit longer to see. And yes, some of you have pointed it out, production value is in fact through the roof. I'm just going to say, this is the highest quality, like production value-wise, Yu-Gi-Oh! Stream that you're going to find on the internet.
Yeah.
You may want to disagree with us when we're commentating, but we cannot discuss about the production value. All right. And looking at the deck breakdown again, is this favorable for Burning Abyss? I mean, they're only going up against Draco, Performapal, Cosmo, and Monarch for the rest of the day.
Yeah, I think it's decent. They're playing a lot of traps. You can just play F0 against Cosmo and hope to win that way. So, yeah, there's no issue.
All right, second.
Okay, yes, we're the correct way around now.
Everything works now, yes. Yes, so second game. Kenny opens with Scam, 2 copies of Scam, Twin Twisters, Horn of Heaven, and Raigeki.
Yeah, that's actually really good. He can just Raigeki the board and then Twin Twister the scales. However, he does have 2 Scams. That's a little rough. James Broderick. Oof, that's not great.
And he lets Kenny go first.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, that's crazy because Kenny's now set up like crazy. He's got Horn of Heaven and Twin Twisters. However, we might see Denko followed by Twin Twisters.
I think Denko Seka is...
it makes a difference. Denko's going to get
Horn of Heaven, yeah. But it should be the opening play, right?
Yeah. Yeah, should be an attempt because there's no point, again, there's no point playing the Skullcrow Bat Joker.
And what is James thinking about it? I mean, he's got a couple of options here, but really, it should be Denko Seka.
Yep. Yeah. So he's going to start out with the Twin Twisters instead.
And it turns out to be the better choice in this particular situation, yeah.
Yeah.
So he's saving the Denko Seka for later. Great read.
Yep.
Great possible read by him.
And then he can go straight in with the Skullcrow Bat Joker.
Yeah, and this is not always the best move to start.
No.
All right. So here's the Joker.
Yep. That's going to go at a monkey board. And then monkey board can go search for that other scale.
There's a poke.
Yep.
And that's going to take down Skarm.
No, it's not. Skarm's got 2,000 defense.
Oh.
He's going to take some damage. It's actually really good for Kenny that he can't get rid of that Skarm, because now he's going to be able to normal summon it and still be able to use its effect when he mills it with Dante.
Right.
It's really good. So what did he draw here?
He did draw into a Barbar. Yeah.
Yeah, so he could just use Barbar's special summon effect instead.
All right. And, James is left with Denko Sega, Performapal, Silver Claw, and Monkey Board.
Yeah. Seems a little unintuitive that he would Twin Twisters instead of trying to play Denko.
Yeah.
Purely because now Denko's useless. Because
it will take it will take a little while until Kenny will draw into enough face down back row cards again.
Yeah, for Denko to be useful.
I don't know if he didn't want to give it away for some reason, but
yeah, maybe
this is
maybe it wasn't worth it right now for that to work.
Yeah.
So Dante goes to the graveyard, and you may have seen Kenny pick up one of his monsters there. That's just because of Dante's effect.
Right. And Solemn Strike, of course, negating that effect right there.
And you're getting the summon. You're getting the summon of Dante, but then it gets its effect when it's sent to the grave. Cool. Okay, so does he just pass there?
I think he does. I mean,
Right,
he's got Barbar. Yeah,
that Max E would have been more useful last
There's the Max E.
Yeah, Max E.
Max E.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of you just mentioned that the top 16 deck breakdown is wrong. Yes, the Magical Explosion deck has been listed as Monarch in our app because the judge who took down the contents, he saw a Monarch card and he thought like, okay, that's a Monarch deck without like looking through the rest of the list, which can happen if you're entering 980 deck lists.
Yeah.
So yes, thank you very much for pointing that out. There is a minor error. It should be an other deck instead of a Monarch deck.
Yeah. Here's some big plays coming out
for James.
Yeah. James.
So now he's gonna assemble his field.
Yeah, he's gonna go and search for 2 Performapal monsters from Sorcerer. So the 2 standard draw cards. He's gonna get a Guitar Turtle and Lizard Draw. So he can play the Guitar Turtle and then play Lizard Draw and then draw 2 cards. One for Guitar Turtle and one for Lizard Draw. So Guitar Turtle's effect, and then Lizard Draw's effect. Perfect.
Yeah, and there's a question popping up. Why didn't James go for Abyss Dweller in the first turn?
I think that him making Abyss Dweller would have just been...
He would have had to overextend a little bit, maybe?
Yeah, I think it would have been a bit of a waste if his opponent would have had any kind of removal for it. There was no backup. Like, using your Abyss Dweller is really vital. Like, if you use your Abyss Dweller out of your extra deck, you've only usually got space for 1. So let's just have a quick look. I'm pretty sure he's only playing 1. Is that Abyss Dweller?
I'm not sure. No, this is actually Wind Up Send Mains.
Oh, okay, hold on. No, completely wrong. Yeah, just 1 Abyss Dweller.
Yep.
So he's only playing 1 Abyss Dweller, and using that quite early would have been reckless.
Yeah, and then there's also the question, why didn't he search with Skarm? That was...
I think he... Oh, he must have just forgotten.
I think he didn't, right?
Yeah, he didn't. Wow. Yeah, he's just forgotten to search.
I mean, he overlaid, and then they got Solemn Strike to the Dante.
Yeah.
That triggers the effect of Dante.
Yeah, to add 1 back.
It should also trigger the effect of Skarm.
Yes, it should.
Yeah, very good point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless we're missing something.
Yeah, to be honest, looking at his cards, it doesn't look like he searched for Scam. I thought he'd had, but no, by the looks of it, he hasn't.
All right.
So let's see. Is he playing... Again, is he? Oh, he is playing Grand Pulse. I can see Grand Pulse, even if it is in Swiss. Yeah, so he could try a Grand Pulse here to try and get rid of the other scale, or he's just going to sit there. I think Grand Pulse is generic. For sure it's generic.
So the Fiendish Rhino Warrior, one of the tech cards that we talked about yesterday when we had the first feature match with Valorant Literature on our very first feature match of the day.
Yeah, very important.
Yep, cool new piece. And but it's back to James for the time being, and he's now going all in. Well, maybe not all in, but he's going big with second Donkey.
Yep. So he's going to go and search there. What did he search? Pendulum Sorcerer, good search.
Yep.
He's going to go ahead and Pendulum Summon all of those from his extra deck.
By the way, you were looking for a pun earlier. The Twitch chat corrected you. What is this donkey horsing around? That is the go-to pun, by the way.
Is it?
Yep.
Okay, thanks, guys. I'll fit that in.
Keep
later.
it under advice.
Yeah.
All right. I'm just gonna ask straight up: is this game over?
I don't want to say so, but by the looks of it, James Broderick seems to think so, because he's going to go in with the Dweller here.
Yeah.
So here's Dweller. So this is now shutting down any graveyard effects.
The Raigeki was set and destroyed?
No, it was played. It was played last turn.
Oh, okay, yeah.
There we go.
Okay, there we go. Good prediction.
Yeah.
By now we've seen it a couple of times. Yeah.
So we're going into the third game here, 1-1.
Yes, the game is tied between those two. At the moment, we got 23 minutes remaining on the clock. So they got enough time for their third game. Right, so now it's 1-1, and again, these two having a chat.
Yeah, so let's see who...
Seems like no side decking whatsoever took place.
No.
And sometimes I've seen that that a player would just like straight start shuffling again to make his opponent do the same. When he knows that, like, okay, my deck is actually currently the favorite, I got the right side deck technique.
Yeah.
Then he just immediately goes into shuffling mode again, and the opponent will just follow along.
Yeah.
Umut actually told me a story that was earlier today. Spoke to Umut Serin, who went up against Long Dao yesterday in round 6 or something like that. Long, of course, had a perfect record going into the top 32, so he was undefeated. And Umut told me that Long was like, hey, let's play real fast. And they didn't have that much space on the table because they were sitting on like the outer corner or something. And for some reason, Umut was like, yeah, okay, let's play real fast. And most of the time when somebody's telling that to you, chances are they know their deck a lot better than you know your deck.
Yeah.
I'm not saying this was the case, but Umut then later told me that he made a misplay because he was playing too fast.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you really shouldn't be just going for everything that your opponent is offering.
Yeah. No, I think it's not a good idea to listen to the person who's trying to win the game.
Yeah. Most of the time, they don't have your best interest in mind.
No, not at all. So, I'm going to start out with Draco face-off.
Vector Pendulum.
Vector and Luster. So let's see which one got picked. Vector's going to go to the extra deck, and Luster, of course, into the Pendulum Zone. As a Pendulum Wizard, yeah, so he's going to be able to use Luster's effect to destroy that Pendulum Wizard and go and get another one from his deck.
So far, so good.
That's very good, considering, because then he can Pendulum Summon it back and then break his scales, do all sorts of crazy stuff there. Making Majesta and summoning back the Draco Slayer. So you could probably end with quite a big board here. if he chooses to.
Right. Pendulum Summon.
Yep.
Bring back those two guys.
Yeah, so Pendulum, Sorcerer, and Vector from hand as well. Any more from hand? I don't think so. So Sorcerer is going to destroy the 2 Pendulum Scales, go get Monkey Board and Joker, most likely. Or the Turtle and the Lizard.
Right. What's the better option out of those two?
I think in this particular situation, getting a Turtle and Lizard would be quite good, because then you can just draw more cards.
Yep.
Oh, but obviously he goes for the other one.
One of the questions was, is James playing the Dark Engine? He is not.
No, just pure Performapals.
Yeah.
He's playing Ariadne.
Ariadne instead, yeah. Yeah, and also, do you agree with the decision of Kenny to not go first in the last game?
I think it's probably okay. Depending on the way that Kenny's side decked, it can change. If he's put in things like anti-spell fragrance, then yeah, you kind of want to go first to try and get that out straight away. But maybe he's just decided to not use it. I don't know why, but we'll see. He probably did put it in.
Maybe they had an agreement not to side deck. It's just, again, kind of questionable, to be honest.
Yeah, so there's the Turtle. Draw him a card there. And then the Monkey Board. Gonna go searching for a Performapal monster. So it's not going to be Skullcrowbat Joker, because you're only allowed one of those.
And this is such an advantage of for James Broderick.
Yeah, as I said, he's amassing a big board here.
Yeah, he already had the mental advantage. Winning the second game is always super important when you're 1 game down, of course, otherwise you're out. And you now got the momentum, and all you have to do is keep it. Whereas if you win the first game and then you lose the second, it's always a little bit of a downer. You're like, I was too close.
This could be a Magister. Yeah, Magister's going to get Luster. Luster's going to synchro into Ignister, maybe. Let's just see how James decides to play this out.
What about Kenny's hand? He does have a Raigeki again.
He does have a Raigeki, so that's going to deal pretty well with this board. And it's going to be all about breaking those scales.
But he doesn't have anything to do that just yet.
Yeah, so he can Fiendish Rhino Warrior and then Foolish Burial Graph, or just Graph. Which kind of would be helpful, but not perfect.
Nope.
The point is that James has got enough stuff in his hand here.
Yeah, and on his field.
Yeah.
He's up by a couple of cards now.
Few.
Yeah. 4 cards in hand.
So he started with 5 cards, and he's ended with
and 9 at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's quite crazy.
Set warning. Yep, so somebody in the chat just said that, asking about the amount of Silver Claws that is played. He actually plays 3, the full 3 Silver Claws.
All right.
It's quite strange.
Yeah, it's quite a few choices are slightly out of the ordinary.
Yeah, maybe these little quirks have been helpful. And there's the Raigeki. So all Kenny's hard work goes in the bin. But still, he's ahead with the amount of cards that he has in his hand and extra deck. So he's going to summon the Rhino Warrior, just have a little push. He actually drew Horn of Heaven as his turn.
It's kind of interesting when you look at it. Like this game has been turned upside down just by.
This could be really big actually.
Just by Raigeki.
Oh, he's gonna.
The Solemn Warning.
Yeah, but I'm sure that he gets to use the Fiendish. I thought the Rhino Warrior was just whenever it was sent to the graveyard. I may be wrong. I'm going to look that up.
All right, it's a 4 face downs for Kenny Deubelbeiss. Not the greatest of news. And there it is, Denko Seka.
Well,
looking at it from that perspective, it was the correct play to not play it in his second game.
So for those who don't know what Denko Seka looks
holding
like.
it back. And now in the third game, he does have the element of surprise when he plays that card, and it completely shuts down the back row of Kenny Deubelbeiss.
Absolutely.
What a huge, huge play. Wow. And now James Broderick doesn't need to be afraid of anything that's going to be thrown in his way.
That's going to be it.
And that is going to be game. Wow. What an excellent, like now, in hindsight, it was correct to not play Denko Seka in the second game. Of course, there's no way to tell that James was aware of that there might be a situation like that arising. I think in the second game he was just like, I don't think this is the right time. And now it completely wreaks havoc on Kenny Deubelbeiss' dreams of advancing to the top 8.
Yeah.
Wow, masterful execution by James Broderick. Draco Performapal advancing, and Burning Abyss, one of the two that remain in the field, are out.
Yeah, I don't understand why he didn't get to use Rhino's effect when it got warninged. I'm a little confused, because it just says if this card is sent to the graveyard.
Does it need to be sent from the field to the graveyard?
Oh, just if it's sent
to the graveyard. Yeah. But also in the second game, there was some players have pointed out that he didn't draw for his one of the Pendulum Monsters. When he played it, he didn't draw right away, which didn't matter ultimately because maybe he knew that he had game. I don't know if that was the reason.
Yeah.
But in any case, it seems like there have been some minor mistakes been made in those games. But in any case, James Broderick moving on to the top 8. Congratulations on that.
Yeah.
All right. What was the key takeaway for you from this match?
There was just a few strange things, and I guess I don't know whether it was the pressure or just these guys were on another level.
I don't know. Yesterday, when we saw Burning Abyss, they really seemed to be having complete control over the game.
Yeah, whereas in this case, it just wasn't.
No, it really wasn't. But then again, Kenny Deubelbeiss made some interesting choices, like letting your opponent go first, for example.
Yeah.
Which might really not be the best.
Yeah, it probably he's playing anti-spell fragrance. He's playing a lot of trap cards. Generally, you want to go first to try and get those trap cards on the board.
Before your opponent can do anything about them.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So that's strange, very strange. But it'd be nice. It's one of those situations where I'd like to interview the loser.
We've had that a couple of times. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of interviews, we are going to conduct an interview with James.
Yeah.
For that, we need to prepare a little bit, so we're going to be back in, I don't know, a minute, something like that, and we're going to take a very short break.